My colleague Darren Jedden spoke with Alanna Vagianos, who covers gender issues with a focus on sexual violence for the Huffington Post. And she says Cosby's sentencing is a crucial moment for the Me Too movement.
A lot of people expected him to get much less time, honestly. So seeing him get at least a minimum of 3 years before he's up for probation, and to see Bill Cosby, the comedian, go out of court in handcuffs, that was a pretty big deal.
And some 60 other women have come forward and accused Cosby of sexual misconduct, but charges have not been brought due to the statute of limitations. Do you think the full story hasn't been told here?
Many victims have come forward accusing Cosby, spanning, I think the first reported one was 1962. So I do think that many of the victims have been able to tell their stories. I do think that this has given them a platform to discuss their trauma. So while I think that there could be more victims out there, I do think that this has given space to those who have come forward already. The TV's own dad get carted off in handcuffs. I think that this is a great example of the impact and the influence that the Me Too movement has really created. To see him leave the court in handcuffs and to actually spend time in state prison, I think that this shows that things have changed. The pendulum has definitely swung.
And just a final thought on that point. I mean, how significant was the sentencing then in the wider debate about sexual misconduct? Is it likely to encourage more women to come forward to talk about their own experiences?
I definitely think it will encourage more women to come forward. Sadly, if you look at what Andrea Constant had to go through to get to this day, it's not very encouraging. She had to go through 2 trials, much less the depositions before that and the civil suit prior to that. So it's not an easy road, and that's obvious, but I think as we believe women and survivors more and more, and we see outcomes like Cosby's today, more people will be likely to come forward in the future.